Hello everyone, welcome back to Comic 47 Vlogs, and we're going to be looking at this week's comics. It's a lot of them. I did get a lot of comics this week, and I swear I'm really trying to cut down on comics. I just get too many. Just my wallet is suffering, and I just don't end up reading all of them on time. But this week there was a lot of good ones. So I got a lot this week. I'm going to try to cut it down next week. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, we're going to be looking at the ones of the week that I got. So, Superman number 22. So I believe this is either part 3 or 4 of this new Superman run. So it's really, really good. And I figured out why it was such a good series. It's because it's written by Joshua Williamson, who's a really good comic book writer, and he's very ambitious, and he makes all these like overarching stories. So he's a very like top tier writer, and no wonder the Superman story has been good. Now I see why. So it brings back Doomsday and all this stuff, but I know DC has tried before, but I feel like this is the only time where it's actually worked really, really well, and it's so good. Plus, it's drawn by Dan Mora. Like, he's the artist on the inside, too. So, I got Power Girl number 17, and I've been really behind on Power Girl. This is part 4 of the DC All-In series, so I've been just behind. I hadn't read any of Power Girl, but I've been getting her comic with the hopes that I would like it once I caught up to it. So, this is issue 17, and it started with issue 14, so I picked these up today, because I thought I had already gotten this one, but I guess I didn't. And now here's the other 2 comics. So I read this yesterday, really good title, and I read this on that same day. So this is like, that was part 1, this is part 2. Now I'm gonna read part 3 and 4, so I'm kind of just binge reading through all of it. Really good series, actually really well written. The art is good. I'd recommend it. But this is the issue that actually came out this week. So, Rocket Raccoon and Doctor Doom. Again, this is written by J. Michael Straczynski. Hard to pronounce that. But again, another very ambitious, talented, very large scope sort of writer. So when you see like a comic, always check who the writer is, because then you can tell what the comic is going to be about, or like if it's your sort of style of reading. So I just picked this comic up expecting a sort of just silly fun comic, but this is far from that. This is Doctor Doom and Rocket Raccoon going beyond the beginning of the universe. Like they're going beyond the beginning of the Big Bang, like before even the universe was a concept. And Doctor Doom and Rocket Raccoon together find out what the meaning of life is. Which is kind of ironic how they get to, like, when they actually tell you what the meaning of life is. It's kind of like a paradox, and I think that's the point. But it really makes you think, and it's a really fun comic. It does have its humorous moments. Like, even the editors, you know how there's editor's notes in comics? Like, even the editors get in on the humor. Let me see if I can show you an example, but yeah, see, look. It says here, like, for example, see Guardians of the Galaxy number 20, and then it says Guardians of the Galaxy number 14, page 15, and then the editor's like, yeah, the readers, they don't need to know the page number, just the issue. Seriously, they can find it themselves. And the editors are arguing back and forth inside the comic. It's hilarious. So if you want a hilarious but also thought-provoking comic, this is the one to pick up. This is part of Marvel's series of like unlikely superhero team-ups. Essentially, they have like a bunch of random superhero team-ups of people you wouldn't think would be in a team-up. They're gonna have like Hulk and Doctor Strange, for example. This was probably gonna be the best one that you pick up, but who knows. Really good read. I already read it and it's so good. Currently I'm reading the Superman one. That's the one I'm reading at the moment. So far so good. Hyde Street, number 7. This is issue number, or did I say number 7? Issue number 3. I don't know what's wrong with my brain today. So, Hyde Street is written by Jeff Johns, correct? Yes, written by Jeff Johns, and this is set in the Ghost Machine sort of series of comics. Jeff Johns has created like his own independent publishing thing or company called Ghost Machine, and it's a whole set of independent issues and comics. Hyde Street is a horror themed one, and it's really well written. I personally like Jeff Johns as a writer. I do like his writing style a lot. He does a lot of dialogue, but he also is good at making you care about characters that you don't know about or underrated characters. So, really good read. I need to catch up. I need to read issue 2, but I think each issue is like its own thing. So I don't think you have to read issues 2 and 1. I would recommend reading issue 1 though, because it explains what Hyde Street is. It's basically like, it's interesting. It has lore to it. Arcbound, number 3. I haven't caught up. I have Arcbound 1 and 2 just sitting on my shelf, and I haven't caught up. So that's what I'm trying to do. The main reason why I got it is because it's written by Tom Hardy and Scott Snyder. Scott Snyder is the one who wrote the Court of Owls Batman and is currently writing Absolute Batman. And Tom Hardy is the actor who plays Venom. So very, very interesting concept of a comic. I haven't read it yet, so I'm going to catch up. I'll read it. I'll let you know how it goes. Metamorpho, the Element Man. Now, originally, I was like, should I get issue 2? I haven't read issue 1 yet, but when I saw that it was written by Al Ewing, in other words, the writer of Immortal Hulk, and he's written Thor, I really like his writing style, so I'm like, you know what? I haven't read issue 1 yet, but I will pick up issue 2 just because Al Ewing is writing the series, so I think it'll be good. Looks good. Harley Quinn number 47. A lot of people have been complaining about Harley Quinn comics lately. I think they're fun. I'm not a huge hardcore Harley Quinn fan, but I have liked her more lately. And I don't know. It's a really fun series. Very Harley Quinn. In the current DC continuity right now, Poison Ivy is kind of doing her own thing, and Harley Quinn is doing her own thing. So they're just kind of, and this one's more of a fun, just series. The artwork is nice. Yeah, that's it. If you just want a fun comic, this is the one to get. Vicarious, number 4. So this is a very, very interesting series. I've talked about this before, I think. It's a comic about, it's a very futuristic, kind of cyberpunk style comic where they have this disc thing in their chest, and people can look through it, and it's like FaceTime essentially, except you can smell, hear, taste, feel whatever the other person's feeling, kind of, you know what I mean? It's like you can connect to a person's body, and if they're drinking a cup of coffee, you can taste that cup of coffee, and it's like a business that they have in the future, where you pay a certain amount. So it's a very interesting concept, and it's honestly well written too. So Justice League Unlimited number 3. Haven't read it yet. I'm gonna read it this week, and we pretty much left off with this kind of weird invasion of parademons, I think, or something of the sort. And I remember we left off with Martian Manhunter having this just outburst or something, and he was kind of losing his mind, losing control of his anger or something like that. That's what I'm more interested in. For some reason, I don't find this particular series that interesting. I'll see where it goes, but I kind of expected more from this. I don't know, but it is written by Mark Waid, I think, if I'm not wrong. It says Wade, but is it Mark Waid? Yeah, Mark Waid, and he's also a good writer too, so we'll see where this goes. I feel like there's more of an overarching plot to it that we have yet to see. Detective Comics number 1093. Now, this answers the question, or I guess this dwells into the question, what if Batman didn't have his age restricting him, right? Because Batman is like in his 40s or late 30s, you know, you could say. I'm guessing late 30s in the DC comics right now. And, you know, he's taking this like youth serum that makes him younger. And like now he can fight crime better, he can do all these things better, but the serum is not ethically sourced. Um, this villain is like I think one of the head of the CEOs or something like that, and or someone who works for the company, and basically the company gets blood from teenagers and like injects it into their clients. So it's unethically sourced, is extremely unethically sourced and illegal. And then Batman's trying to figure out what this is all about, and he's kind of struggling with that. Black Canary, best of the best, number 3. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Tom King just because of this Batman run, but literally every single thing, like everything else he's written, is top tier. This is a top tier comic. It's written really, really well. One of like I feel like nobody's talking about this comic, and it's one of the best comics. It's I don't know, it's mind blowing. Um, it's just especially if you've watched box too, like if you've watched boxing and you like that as a sport, even if you don't like boxing, it's really really well written. It's like Black Canary, and it dives into her character. This should have been a Black Canary solo series. It's really good. Just pick up issue 1, just read issue 1 and see what you think about it, and then if you really like it, then keep going. Absolute Wonder Woman number 4, written by I believe Kelly Thompson, right? People have criticized her writing in the past. Kelly Thompson, if I'm not wrong, is a writer that is not known for writing great stories. Personally, I don't really remember what story she's written or know that well, so I kind of went in with a blind eye on Wonder Woman or the Wonder Woman Absolute series. Issue 4. So far I feel like it's good, but it doesn't feel that grand in scope. It kind of feels like Wonder Woman is just like in the coast part of a city, and there's not that many characters. But maybe she's gonna slowly introduce all these characters as time goes on with like this long overarching thing. It feels a bit too small in scope, in my opinion. But it's still enjoyable, so I do like reading it. So that's issue 4. Iron Man number 4. Again, another really underrated and very well written series. Um, I didn't like the ending to issue 3, me personally. I feel like it kind of went a little bit too, like, hard to believe or, like, too out there. It's like, let's just say Batman going to space, for example. You know, it doesn't feel like it's not grounded enough. You know what I mean? Iron Man, this series started more grounded, and then it went into, like, kind of cosmic level, and it didn't make much sense, in my opinion, and that kind of ruined the ending of the last issue. But this is kind of like a new arc, I think, so we'll see where it goes. Amazing Spider-Man number 66. So issue 65 was really, really like depressing. Spider-Man just was confronted with I think it was the 5th champion, which was like the inevitability of death and that everything is forgotten and blah blah this and that, and then just broke Spider-Man, and it carried on into so it was Amazing Spider-Man number 65. Then after that you have Amazing Spider-Man's Points Deaths. That's the name of the comic, and then you go to read this one. So kind of a weird way Marvel handle it, but I don't know. I've been liking this comic a lot. I just felt like issue 65 was they needed to tone that down a bit. But yeah, Wolverine, uh, Wolverine Revenge number 4. This comic, I feel like it's been delayed, right? I think it's been delayed like 1 or 2 months because this took a really long time to release. I just thought they released issue 4 without me knowing a while back, but no, they just released it this week. Or maybe my shop put it in late, but I don't think so. Who knows? It's a good series. But I just the hype kind of died down because it took so long to release it. But yeah, this is the Red Band comic, meaning like it's got more blood, I guess. Ultimate Spider-Man number 13. I'm really behind on Ultimate Spider-Man. I left off on issue 8, so I have to like binge read it. Yeah. It's been good up to issue 8, and I'm sure it's still really good. It's written by Jonathan Hickman. Again, another big time writer. Really ambitious with his writing. One of the best writers, in my opinion, comic book writers. Definitely pick it up. Pick up volume 1. Like, they collect it in volumes. So usually Marvel tends to put like 5 comics in one volume. So if you get volume 1 and 2, you'll be caught up till issue 10. So yeah, Green Arrow number 20. Again, I'm a little bit behind on this one, but I read the first 2 issues and it's a really good start. I think it's good. I think Green Arrow is good. I wanted to give Green Arrow a shot, and no pun intended. And it's been a good series, so I'll see where this goes. And yeah, that's all. This is just 1 week of comics. I don't know why so many good titles released all this week. Yeah, and also there's this book that I'm really excited to read. It's called Mixed Up. It's a small book. It's a more lighthearted, sort of just young reader style book that really reminds me of my childhood, and I grew up with these kinds of books, and I still like them. Yeah, and it's about dyslexia and this girl who struggles with dyslexia and how that's like, and someone who also is dyslexic. It's really speaks to me, and I want to read this book to see where it goes. Um, yeah, I don't know. This released this week as well. I think it was this week it released because I saw it in the store. Might have released last week, but I think it was this week. Really excited to read this. Really excited. Yeah, so that's the comics for this week. I kind of reviewed them one by one. I feel like I've been liking doing that in my channel. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna like go through the comics of the week and sort of like leave a short review of how the series are, what I recommend. I think you guys would want to see more of that. Yeah, just let me know what comics you read this week, which ones are your favorite of the month, and yeah, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.